Thank you so much, Udit, for joining me today. It's so lovely to have you on the Story Bar podcast with me.
Pleasure to be here.
Udit, let's start from the beginning. हम लोग जब छोटे थे and we are 90s kids, right? I want to understand from you,
Yeah.
did you always want to become an actor?
I think a part of everyone wants to be an actor, right? When you see films, everyone wants to be an actor, but to pursue it professionally is something that uh, only a particular temperament a person can do, right? They
Yeah.
have to have a certain temperament, and some people realize they have that temperament. Some people realize they don't have that temperament. But I think it's the deepest desire of anyone to be an actor. Watching films, especially in India, when they're watching films and everything, they want to be on the big screen. That's the charm of big cinema. For me, I I somewhere wanted to also, but I didn't want it to also because I wanted something different for my life as well. I wanted in the sense because my father was a theater actor. I used to go watch his plays, so I was directly in contact with that, you know, uh,
Process.
like the process, the audience seeing my like audience cheering up for my father, father making an entry from above, and everybody clapping and going bonkers. So I loved that, And when I used to see that on screen, I also used to love that. So I wanted to experience that. But most of my life, it was very I wanted to, but my school didn't have that. Right, there was no theater in our school, and so I didn't get the opportunity. I used to play cricket. I wanted to be a cricketer. And I left my studies to play cricket. Then I left cricket for my studies because my studies were lacking. And then when finally I'll study and everything because हमारे यहाँ माहौल ये होता था कि इंजीनियरिंग का like you have to और ज्यादा options थे नहीं. My sister was like I won't don't want to do engineering or anything. I will do English, and she wanted to go abroad and do her things. She was very clear with what she wanted. I used to be that kid who would, in my knickers, go around the block and just run and play. I had no goals. I wanted to have a good time. So I was not serious. I didn't wanted any responsibility, honestly, at that time. I'm talking age of 15, 16, 17, adolescent age. But then things took a turn, as in I was not. My grandfather used to teach at work at IIT Kanpur. So he was a self-learned man and very intelligent. My father didn't study that well. He raised us well doing a bank job. So what he couldn't do, what I'm sure my grandfather wanted from him, and what he couldn't do, he wanted us to do, but in a very nice way. It's not like you have to do it. So he tried convincing me and my sister in doing this, that you should go for engineering and this and that. And I had a lot of interest in science as well. I still have a scientific mind. The way of thinking and seeing the world is very scientific for me. And I'm still very curious about a lot of things. And still, if you ask me, I've not, like education wise, I've not learned a lot, but I'm still very curious and still keep learning as much as I can understand it. At
Absolutely.
at an upper level, it just goes beyond your head. But it's
Right.
just the basic stuff that you try to understand, whether it's quantum physics or anything else, whether it's a black hole, so it's the universe, everything, because I'm still interested in that. So when I did, in 12th, I did engineering, studied for engineering, then I gave up. I was like, this can't be I can't do this. I passed, and I was like, I should do theater because that was the second passion that I thought I can do. So I gave up cricket, and I thought to myself, yeah, I should not give this up because I've given my one dream up. This is my second dream and I know about it, I should not give it up. So that's the only reason in my 17, 18 years, at that age when I came to Delhi, I decided, yeah, I should pursue this. And that's where the journey started. And my father supported me in that. He was the biggest supporter of me during that time.
Lovely,
So
lovely.
that's how my journey started in acting. It's when all options were exhausted. And
Right.
still I wanted to, I was, like we were in the same, you were the head of the theater group. I joined it. And you were one of the first people to recognize that I do have a talent
Oh,
and believed
I
in me.
I
And
not just recognized it, Udit. I believed in you so much. I have to say
yeah,
that again and again because ever since I have seen you performing the very first time in college, I knew that he is just going to be there and he's going to be amazing at what he does. So I've always had that belief. It's not like, and I just
yeah,
manifested this. I told you right in the beginning,
yeah,
right? That I
yeah,
manifested this
yeah,
conversation that Udit is going
yeah.
to be there and we'll have this chat about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a day before yesterday, I was thinking about the phase of my life when I just joined street play, which you were heading, and there was some dispute with the director of mine in some play, and he was trying to be hard on me or whatever, and I was very upset. I remember you telling me to take a stand for yourself, do what is right, and I said, "Oh my God," and I did, and I felt so good about it. मतलब मुफलिसी के दिन थे कुछ नहीं था तब भी अपने लिए खड़े होने में
Exactly.
इतना अच्छा लगा कि कोई बात नहीं कम से कम मैं अकेला तो खड़ा हूँ so you are the one of the like the first people to believe in me that I can do it and you also gave me a chance in that play that street play that we used to do you gave me a very very important part it was a very difficult character but you said you have to do it and I was not sure about myself but I said I'll do it so yeah, at that point also, and during college, it was just like I wanted. It was as a hobby because to do something like this professionally requires a lot of hard work and a lot of
Right,
sacrifices,
right,
honestly.
right.
And I had this question in my head, Udit, are you ready for that? So, but when all options were exhausted, like when I had finished college, I had nothing else, nowhere else to go. I wanted to do, so I studied economics. I
Hmm.
was so fed up of engineering and science that I took economics in Delhi in my college graduation, and that was the most stupid decision in a way because I knew nothing about economics, but I took it because I thought I won't do a BA program like I'm not that dumb or whatever. I mean, I'm judging a lot, but please forgive me. I used to think that I'm not so dumb that I'll take BA program. I'm a 92 percenter. I'll take some good subjects. So I took economics in that. So my way of thinking has always been like that.
Yeah,
जो होगी देखी जाएगी.
right.
So I somehow passed, and then I was like, and actually it was in a way good because I thought that if this it wouldn't be tougher than this. The life that I've lived in Delhi, away from home, and studying something that I've not liked, and doing something that I liked at the same time, theater.
Hmm.
And my parents again told me that if you want to pursue, do this only because I wanted to study literature. By that time, I was reading a lot of books. I was into literature, theater. So I
Right.
wanted to do theater, and I wanted to do English in MA,
Hmm.
but I didn't get it. Of course, makes sense. I've never professionally studied it, so academically studied it. So and then I had no option left. So my parents said, "Ki, if you want to do theater, why do you want to do it in Delhi? Go to Mumbai. There are a lot of options there. You can find work as well. You can do theater as well, whatever you like." So
Right.
that's how I ended up in Mumbai, and that's my journey. That's it.
I think that was a bold move, Udit, because I have seen a lot of people, and there is nothing to, discredit them about this. A lot of actors,
Yeah,
budding actors, they stay in Delhi, they do theater for quite a long period of time,
yeah,
and then they
yeah,
take the call of, moving to Mumbai. So,
yeah.
you say that you were very sure that if you join theater in Mumbai, it's going to be different than being in Delhi and doing theater. How was that for you?
That was also destiny because my father knew someone who used to work with KK Raina Ilarunji in Mumbai,
Yeah.
and he was a friend of friend. Like many years, like 20, 25 years, they have known each other.
Wow. Yeah.
So my father called him and he said, "Okay, call him to the rehearsals. We are doing a play. Call him." And that's how I joined the group.
Wow.
And yeah, the professional. I mean, there must be a lot of groups in Delhi as well who are but Mumbai offers much more in terms of the art and culture and the professionalism as well, and also just the stature. It's quite high, I feel. I mean, there are a lot of people doing a lot of good stuff here. So, and I was lucky to be able to join KK Rana, Ila Runji, who have like working in the industry since 40 years. Like they have
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
of 40-45 years.
yeah, yeah.
So उनके अंडर सीखना मेरे लिए बहुत एक फायदेमंद बात होगी.
Of
That's how I,
Of course, of course.
yeah.
Now, you are someone, Udit, who's been part of the theater world and cinema as well. दोनों के बीच में difference क्या है? Because as an audience, if I have to say that if I'm going to watch a play, there is a very different emotion. There is a very different way of observing the actors and doing their part. And when we are in a movie theater, it's very different. But as an actor, what does it mean to be on the stage as a theater artist and be there in front of the camera? How is it for an actor?
I think theater somewhere helps you being in front of the camera. That's for sure. Because in theater, when you're performing, you're just there and you are only there. It's just your imagination and you. You're like seeing something and responding to that, and it's just you. It's that space that you're in, right? But in usually movies and web shows and camera acting, you're surrounded by so many people all the time. So I've realized this difference is this helps you a lot in creating your own space as an actor, because you're constantly like someone is coming with your touch up, do your touch up, do fix your hair, and there's a lot of noise happening on set, right? So I think as an actor, you have to theater helps you in finding that a space of your own, even if that drama is going on, right? Because you're so used to in be by yourself, standing on the stage, whether you're doing a play, whether you're doing a rehearsal, because that space is yours. Nobody's coming to disturb you. So I think that helps a lot. Having said that, I feel that someone who's good in theater might not be good at camera acting. Someone who's good at camera acting might not be good at theater, on stage. And someone might be good at both. So the difference is, I think, huge. To say that one is better than the other, I feel that they are two अपने आप में दोनों बहुत एक powerful mediums हैं. Because I used to think that theater is more difficult and camera acting is easy, but now I've come to change that. Like I feel like camera acting is much more subtle, much more real. Like you cannot lie to the camera. Theater में even if you like, because of the space, because of the lights, because of the music, because of the you can hit a false note or whatever, or you can project something, even if not a false note, my bad, but even if you project something, it will come across as genuine.
Yeah,
But in camera acting, you can't do that.
right,
I
right.
think that you will be caught. So it's very I think both are very different and अपने आप में दोनों बहुत बेहतरीन है.
Oh,
Somewhere I think मिलते भी हैं. I've thought about this a lot. I think मिलते भी हैं कई जगह पे थिएटर और कैमरा, बट कई जगह पे बिल्कुल अलग भी है. But
right.
anybody who's starting out, I think it's not that you should do theater, and as much as you can before you come into do camera acting, and also if you can keep doing it, that will be best for you, I feel.
Right, right. And Udit, when you started, like, you started with these, with the plays first, right? You started with the
Yeah,
theater first, and then you moved into this space, the cinema space. How was
yeah.
it like auditioning for instance, the Zoya factor? How was that journey for you? And I would not mince my words. Even if the movie did not do well, people really
Yeah.
appreciated your character, your role in that. How was that journey? Because this was your first film, right? And everything that is first is
I
super
mean,
special.
you must be the only one who would have appreciated.
Not like that, not like that. I know few people who did
Yeah,
talk about that character. So I would want to
yeah.
understand from you, how did you take the entire process? How was that journey for you? And what did you feel after doing the movie and when the feedback started coming in? What was that like for you?
I can tell you something that I shot Zoya Factor and Jamtara at the same time. We
Oh,
started in the middle only the Jamtara shoot started,
Wow.
and like almost towards the end when a month would be left, we started with the Jamtara shoot, and we all knew. So I think they are both tied up in a very like you have the money here and everything, but maybe because of the story or anything, it's not that great or whatever. But at the same time, you're doing something where you're working 16 hours a day, 17 hours, and you're not being paid a lot as well. And but group bunch of passionate people coming together doing something, and it turns out to be the best show of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, I mean, first Zoya factor is special for me because I wanted to be a cricketer. So it
Right.
was like a complete circle for me. And
Right.
the other circle was crash course
Right. Right.
because I went through that same process where I have felt that pressure of becoming an engineer and
Of course.
going through those 200 student class, and I've been through that pressure. And for the I remember when I left it, some 3 4 years I couldn't go to that area, and that area is very in Kanpur. That area is very famous for its food and everything. I
Mm.
just couldn't pass through that because those memories will come back, those feelings will come back. So crash course was another circle in like that. Okay, and I felt like after all these years, what I used to think was right. I was not wrong. The
Abs-
system is wrong.
yeah, absolutely.
People are wrong. But
Absolutely.
trying to tell you that you have to do this and you have to do that and this is how it works. You are absolutely right. They are wrong. So
Ab-
it was like a culmination of that, and through that character as well. So it was very fulfilling. And Zoya factor again, I thought that for the like this is for the last time that I'm playing cricket, like in a stadium with bowlers coming in wearing the whole kit, like and so yeah, it was that for me. It
Right,
was
right.
that for me.
And coming back to Jamtara and Crash Course, why do you think, Udit, people were able to connect with your character so much? I'll come to the process of, you getting there in the character of Binny or Dhiman in Saas, Bahu and Flamingos, right? But before that, I want to understand,
Yeah,
why do you feel people were able to connect with the characters so much? As you rightly said, that you have been there, you have been in that spot yourself personally, right? I know so many people who have been there, right? And now they're in that happy space, good space. They're doing what they want and they're enjoying their life,
yeah.
making good money. And nobody can question or say that, okay, you did not pursue engineering, you did not get into IIT, so that was wrong, right? So I just want to understand from you, how much of it was personal for you?
Um, Crash Course was very personal in that sense. I thought that it's a very important story. I was very lucky to be a part of it, and especially playing a character like Binny Bhaiya.
Yeah.
I thought that because he has also gone through the same process, but it was very personal. Like there were scenes where he talks to Vidhi, his younger sister,
Yeah.
about that Mama ji ne ye kaha hai, Mama ji ne falan. And I've been speaking like that too. I
Yeah.
won't tell you which members of my family, but yeah, they at that point of time they have also spoken to me like that, and I felt bad. क्या करोगे जिंदगी में? Like, for example, my father even like because I've never studied, I used to roam around everything. I was a very naughty kid. So he used to tell me in 10th, pass हो जाओगे. So people have, and in a way, they're questioning your abilities. Like I said, I'll दिखाता हूँ मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. So it's in me. So I love doing that, and I got a chance to. Oh my God! So I knew where Binny was coming from. But then again, the last I think connect people connected with it because of the I think the graph of it. When in the end, when you have a redemption story,
Yeah.
person who changes, who realizes what they. So it was very important in the first 8 episodes. I'm really arrogant and come across as
Yeah.
obnoxious and like I don't give a damn who you are, as that. But then when that change happens, oh my god, when it's personal. So I think that writing was amazing. That
Yeah.
transition of Vinny Bhaiya was amazing in a sense, and that was the most important. Any changes he go and it's not an easy process. Like grief is not easy to process. So he goes through that process of realization, and that's very beautifully written. And then he comes back. So I think that connected with people a lot because people have come up to me and said this last में आपने जो मतलब okay, so they love that, they love a redemption story because I think underneath everyone realize that uh, everyone wants to knows that they expect something from them as themselves as well,
Yeah, yeah.
and from others as well, and from the world as well. I think there's an underlying hope that's in everyone. So I
Mm.
think when you see that being fulfilled in a way, you feel really, really nice about it.
Right,
Or
right.
when a person finding themselves
Right.
among all the chaos that's happening. So I think it's deep down in everyone. Everyone is trying to like find themselves in a way, especially in the times that we live in. You
Of
know,
course, of course, of course. And I think it was the
yeah,
growth and evolution of that character of Binny that really
yeah,
touched us all, right? There is
yeah,
no doubt about it.
yeah,
Now, one
yeah,
thing, Udit, when you're doing a character like Binny, it takes a lot of
yeah,
time, maybe time and effort, of course, to get into
yeah.
Binny's shoes, right? And a character like this, which people remember for a long period of time, even when the show is done, released. Now, how do you get out of that character? Because you have left quite an impression with that role, right? How easy or challenging it is for an actor to be in that part and then come out of it. I just want to like understand from an actor's point of view because
It stays. Yeah, yeah. Please continue. Sorry.
yeah, because like whenever people would be meeting you after that show, they would be referring to you as Binny for a quite some time, right? कि आपने ये किया and Binny सबके दिमाग में छाया हुआ था और बहुत time तक when someone appreciates you with a certain reference, it is there in your head. Now, as an actor, you have to do other films and other series also, right? Now you have to get ready for another character. Now, how does that process look like? Because in my head, it's very challenging. Like today, I have to be Mr. A, and tomorrow, I have to be Mr. B, and A and B are like poles apart. So, how do I do it? Yeah.
See, that's the most challenging part as an actor, especially when you don't have work. When you see the ideal life of an actor is of anyone, or for me as well. Like you do a character, you be a part of the project, you give your everything, then you take a break, and
Yeah.
in that break, maybe you're preparing for something else, and then maybe after 2 3 months or 4 months, you go on floor, right? That's the ideal life of an actor. But unfortunately, you're not like things won't be the same, and not everybody will get that life, and maybe you have to struggle a lot to reach there. So what you are saying is absolutely correct. When you're working as an actor, you just want to do you just don't have the luxury of you can't afford to miss opportunities. So you take them as opportunities and try to do the best as you can. Uh, Even when you have to switch between roles, it's tough. It's always tough, but you have to do it. I will tell you something. It drives me off when I've, especially back to back, I've done something where, like, towards the tail end of a project, I'm going to something else, and then when that thing is over, because it in two projects it at least takes 6 months, 7 months. I just don't want to act. I just want to leave acting for some time because it drives me up, it exhausts me, and I just don't want to do anything because it requires a lot of hard work. So I think, but you don't have a choice in that really. You get that because when you're sitting at home, you might be sitting for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year, right? So it is like that. The highs are very high, the lows are very low.
Yeah.
Uh, but to be, I particularly whenever I play a part, I try to call out uh, the attributes associated with that part. Like those are really important to me. That if I am performing it, what do you as an audience see in them, right? Whether you see arrogance, whether you see, I'm not saying about the nitty gritties of it, but an overall personality. So I try to understand that what am I projecting through
Hmm.
this part, because that is very important to me. You might think anything in your head, but ultimately you might not be your body might not be projecting, your face might not be projecting anything. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So that can also happen. Like I've seen people in their head, thinking
Mm.
about all of these things, but nothing is being projected. So it is
Right,
also an art of projection,
right.
right? So that is very important for me. What as an audience, because paper पे लिखा है अगर कुछ, like for example, Dhiman is a gangster,
Mm.
like he and he's a silent killer. All of these things, whatever adjectives or attributes you want to give it, but ultimately when he comes on screen, you fucking don't know what he's gonna do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He comes, you might, so he's unpredictable like that, and there is a lot of going on, a lot of things going on behind those eyes, and he
Yeah.
has a volatile personality, like he'll kill you, and that's the thing with him. So I think those are the things that you work on as an actor.
Mm.
That how am I able to project it? And then you realize, okay, my personality and that character's personality are so different. Now, how am I gonna mix those two? How am I gonna bring the violent side of me? So ultimately, it's all inside of you. So when you're working through all of these things, you try to find themselves in you, right? And of course, it changes your perspective on a daily basis. No doubt about that. It will. It has to.
Yeah.
So of course, in the starting, you love it because a month when you get to prepare and when you're going on set, you're loving it, right? Everybody like, oh, maza aa raha hai. But then after 1 month, it's like now it has stuck in my bones because that character now is running through your nerves.
Yeah.
You before you were running after that character, now that character is running after you, and you're like, oh my god, now I have to leave it as well.
Yeah.
So I think it lives with you. Those things, because those are your attributes only, right? And it lives with you for some time, and I don't think it necessarily leaves you or anything. I don't believe so. अगर अभी मेरे मुझे कोई बात करने लगे, आप भी जैसे कर रहे हो, मैं ऊपर ऊपर से, बट डिटेल में तो मुझे सब पता है, मेरे अंदर सब है. So I think as an actor, you just don't leave it. It's just that you forget about it and move on to the next. So, but yeah, it transitioning and everything, when you don't get time, it's very tough.
Right, right. And on that note, when does an actor really die? Because अभी हम जो बातें कर रहे हैं and whatever we are discussing, whenever we hear, and this I'm talking on a very personal note, Udit, like whenever we hear about the death, actual death of one of our favorite, stars, there is a very deep sense of sorrow. It feels very personal कि हमारी life से कोई चला गया है, हमारी family से कोई चला गया है, right? But the
Yeah.
legacy, the art, it lives on. But do you think there will come a point when all of that nobody will remember? And when that thought strikes your head, what are certain things you would do as an actor to just ensure or just think that okay, I'm here to make a difference in everyone's life, right? Maybe I'm not here to change the world, but I am doing something, I'm doing something meaningful. It should resonate with people on that level. What is your thinking about it?
Films, I would say that they have a very profound effect on me. Some of the films that I saw on my sister's laptop when I was in 11, when I was just 16 years old. She went to study in Miranda House, English literature. So she also, like, वो तो अलग ही एक्सपोजर है ना कि दिल्ली में आप इंग्लिश ऑनर्स करने चले गए. वो तो एक्सपोजर ही अलग है. वो
Of
तीन
course.
साल मतलब आप
Of
कुछ
course.
और बन जाते हो,
Yeah.
और छोटे शहर से जब आते हो.
Yeah.
सो मैं छोटे शहर में बैठा हूँ अभी भी, और मैं लैपटॉप खोल के मैंने फिल्में देख डाली. उसमें सिंगल मैन थी, उसमें ब्रोकबैक माउंटेन थी, और मैंने कहा अच्छा ये भी फिल्में होती हैं, एंड आई थॉट हाँ या दिस इज एंड इट हैड अ वेरी, यू नो आपको कोई कहानी ऐसे हिला देती है. I personally feel that films have made me a better person. I truly believe that.
Mm.
It has made me more empathetic and it has connected me more to my human side. And every time it does that. Now, especially because I watch it with more awareness. So even if it's dark, it's still connects you to your humanity and to love. So as an actor, there is this deep desire that you also get to be a part of these stories, you know. But So yeah, for me, it's important that whatever I'm doing, the story लोगों को याद रहे, मेरा किरदार याद रहे ना रहे, लेकिन लोग उस कहानी के बारे में, उस फिल्म के बारे में, उस शो के बारे में जरूर बात करें.
Of
मुझे
course.
ये बहुत लगता है. और मुझे ये भी लगता है कि it's I always think in terms of, is this story important? And I want to be a part of important stories that are original, that people haven't seen. And my Agni, this film is coming up, or based on firefighters. I think it's a very important film. People have not made a film, seen something on firefighters, and in this process that I've gone through, I've learned so much of self-sacrifice they do. Like कैसे वो लोग सब कुछ छोड़ के, you know. So I'm very lucky to be a part of something like this, to be able to represent them in a way, you know.
Of course.
So I think, yeah, ultimately it matters, that touches people. And Crash Course was similar.
Yeah.
So I have not done anything. I've been very lucky that people have chosen me for those parts. But it's like attracts like, your vibe attracts your tribe. So
Yeah.
ये है कि जब आप सोचते हो, करते हो, किसी एक दिशा में चलते हो, आप अपनी सोच मत छोड़ो, और आप अपना मेहनत मत छोड़ो. और चाहे रास्ता टफ है, लेकिन आपको अल्टीमेटली यू विल मीट पीपल who you will realize, yeah, oh my God, they are the same as you. Like, they have gone through that process. You're still very new. You're still very young. They have gone through that process. And you realize, oh my God, they're the same people. I want to work with them. Like Vijay Maurya, Manish Hariprasad sir, all the team, the actors, Homi. Like, you want to work with them. Yeah, these are the people. So you'll realize the wait was worth it. It's just that you have to be constant in what you want to do. And you just might want to entertain. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But एंटरटेनमेंट के नाम पे मतलब पका दिया, बोर कर दिया, चट दिया, इतनी सारी चीजें आजकल है कि
Right.
एंटरटेनमेंट के नाम पे क्या है. पहले की फिल्में भी एंटरटेन करती थी, कुछ कह भी जाती थी. चलो आप कुछ कह नहीं रहे, लेकिन एंटरटेन भी तो अच्छे से करो. बस मेरा ये मानना है. आई ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू बी एंटरटेन. आई
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है कि आप हर समय कुछ देखना चाहते हो जो एकदम, यू नो इट इज अ
See.
फॉर्म ऑफ एंटरटेन.
Mm.
It is a form of entertainment as well at the end of the day, I believe so, right? But क्या कूड़ा करकट थोड़ी आपको देना है, you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
मतलब आप नेगेटिव तो मत दो ना.
Mm-hmm.
पॉजिटिव नहीं दे पा रहे हो, कम से कम उसको भी तो एक सही में दिखाइए आप.
Of
So
course.
that's the thing.
And I think with the rise of social media influencers, and now everybody is sort of like an actor or projects themselves to be. Now, when people like you who have gone through that journey, who are there, right, and who have made that effort, now, what do you think about this space? Because, of course, social media is here to stay, and people feel that these people are influencers are very real, very authentic. They're able to connect with them. And do you feel, as an actor, do you feel threatened in any way from them? Like, I know it might sound absurd, but just in the sense of, they're just working on certain type of content, and then one day you see they have like millions of followers on Instagram, and that
But they,
becomes their worth. That becomes their worth, right?
yeah,
How many
yeah.
followers you have on Instagram? Because I've heard this from some other people, some other actors, that they were selected based on how many followers they had on Instagram for a particular ad, and that made me, like, I was really shocked. Like, now acting is, as a craft, it's totally different. How do you connect that with, like, Instagram? Like, I was not able to understand that. From your perspective, what is it?
Baseline, I believe that, ठीक है, okay, they are influencers and they're gonna work. They are getting opportunities because of their followers. Absolutely fine. But that's also very limited. You
Yeah.
don't think that they're gonna take your roles honestly, because they're not.
Yeah.
है ना. उनकी जो स्पेस है, ओके, वो जो एक लाइट हार्टेड, द टाइप ऑफ कंटेंट दैट दे मेक, light hearted
Yeah.
comedy or whatever, and that's the space. So I think in that space, whenever you get a part, they will be approached for that, and they might end up doing it as well, and that's absolutely fine. But what apart from that, you need to develop a range. You need to have those capability of emoting. You need to understand everything, right? So that requires experience, and someone might be natural at it as well. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of people who are very natural, and they're good actors, they're bloody good actors, but they are typecasted as influencer because of the content that they make, right? So opposite also happens sometimes, but I think it's ultimately, I don't think they're taking actors' jobs, right? You might see them here and there, and that's absolutely fine. But ultimately, I think what happens in the audition room is the final judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
So they are getting the opportunity because of the standing that they have made, and they're being called because of the followers that they have. That's absolutely fine. But if they're not able to show their talent, that they're good for the part, then they're not getting the part. That's
Right.
the reality of it.
Right.
So I think people should also realize this: they're not taking our jobs. They might be getting the opportunities, and they might getting those opportunities finalized where they completely fit.
Right.
Otherwise, where do you see them? Where do you see them? I don't see them anywhere. In good stories, in authentic stories, in dramas, where do you see them? That's the thing. And I'm not saying anything against their talent. If they
Yeah.
have the talent, they will eventually, right? Because they do have a desire to be an actor, and they are going through that process of auditioning. So who's to say that in a year or two of that constant auditioning they become better? And you do become better. You
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
You learn by doing mistakes, and they might become better. So I think the field should be open for everyone. But yeah, our corporate system has just entered, like people attracting more likes, views, and the social media is just um, this is something that's wrong on their part to
Mm-hmm.
not do something like this, right?
Right.
And I understand that part, that where you are doing business and everything, but ultimately, when you're making something, how much will you dissect, you divert your attention to these things, right?
Also.
Because ultimately, they're not gonna give you any result. It's the people that you collaborate with, people that you come together, right?
Right. Right.
So you can't blame them. They're corporate people, and they're doing their thinking the best to their abilities. So
And
maybe they should not be the ones making decisions.
yeah.
They should leave the decisions to the creative people,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And in fact, I have an interesting use case, interesting story to share with you on this, something that
Yeah.
recently happened. Now, one of my actor friends, he told me about this. He was auditioning for a shoot, और उसने बताया कि a lot of people, a lot of actors had rejected that ad because उनका face नहीं दिखने वाला था उस ad में. And I would not
Hmm.
take the name of the ad. The ad did really well and everything, but that made me think एक एक्टर का फेस कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है आज के डेट में बिकॉज वी हैव एक्टर्स who are not necessarily good looking also, right? So but their craft is top notch. You cannot compare any other actors with them. But what is your take on this? Would you yourself personally do something, especially in the beginning of your career, where you know that your face won't be visible? Would that be a conscious choice you would make?
I mean, won't be visible as in
As
doing
in,
something where
हाँ,
I'm not.
कुछ prop होगा, maybe you it will be covered or something, but you're, of
I
course,
mean, I
yeah,
have done junior roles as well in TV. So I have done everything in my capacity to earn money. Like in
yeah,
the start, I haven't thought about anything.
yeah,
In an ad, if you I've done a lot of ads as well where I'm standing in the background and hardly seen anything. You can hardly see me, but I've gotten paid for that day. So why not?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, initially it's fine, but I think face important. See, I think most people don't realize the fact that it's not just about your acting; it's about the whole personality, what
Yeah.
you fit into. You have to realize that as well. That you have to look at yourself in the mirror and particularly see what you look like and think like a casting director. Think like a person who's casting. The best thing to do it is imagine that you're casting for a film that you are directing, right? And just imagine anything, and now start thinking about actors or people. Your mind will segregate like 90% of the people, and most of the times you'll have one person that you want to play, that you want that part to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it works, how well you personally fit into the part. Maybe that person that they're casting, they have imagined them as a person with a short height. So no matter how much good of an actor I am, I won't be cast in that. Like if
Right.
he's 5'5", then
Right.
he's imagining like that, he's written like that, right? That part.
Yeah.
So मैं कैसे उसमें फिट जाऊंगा? फिर उसको उनको बाकी चीजें भी चेंज करनी पड़ेंगी।
Right.
तो ये भी समझना बहुत जरूरी आता है। मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट योर एक्टिंग टैलेंट दैट यू आर बीइंग रिजेक्टेड। सो डोंट थिंक ऑफ इट एज अ रिजेक्शन
Mm.
unless and until you're giving a bad audition. But if you're not giving a bad audition, don't think it like that, because there are a lot of permutation combination that goes into the casting for a role.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, if you see that if you're tall, if you're handsome or whatever, then you should work on your face, because then people will cast you in that part, right? But ultimately, having said that or whatever, the craft comes first, right? If you're good at it, then I know people who take care of their faces a lot, like a lot. But there's hardly that they have to offer. There's hardly anything that they have to offer,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then it becomes meaningless and useless to have a pretty face, without any wrinkles, without any marks or whatever, shining skin. What will you do? The talent should shine. That's really
Yeah.
important. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how you look or whatever. But I'm just saying, the reason for saying this was because you are cast, because people are looking at the role. You might not be a bad actor. You might be a very good actor. You're not fitting the role, right?
Right.
लाइक मेरे मेरे कैटेगरी के भी पर्टिकुलरली लोग हैं वो ऑफ अ हाइट, ऑफ अ पर्सनैलिटी, वट एवर। अब भगवान ने मुझे जैसा बनाया मैं वैसा ही रहूंगा, है ना। अब उसमें ना मैं उसमें कुछ वो कर सकता हूँ कि अरे यार क्या तो बना दिया भगवान ने, ना मैं बोले क्या बना दिया भगवान ने, है ना। आपको जो शरीर मिला है, जो जो भी कुछ मिला है, उस वो आप प्यार करिए खुद से। और बस आप ज्यादा इन सब चीजों से अटैच होंगे तो वैसे भी फिर आप, मैं दिखता कैसा हूँ, मैं कैसी दिखती हूँ,
Of
मैं
course.
स्मार्ट नहीं हूँ, ये तो स्टैंडर्ड्स है यार। आप अपने आप से अंदर से अच्छा फील करेंगे, विल लुक वेरी ब्राइट,
Of
राइट।
course. Of course.
तो ये इन सब बातों में आप एक्टिंग करने आए कि ये सब करने आए? दैट
Hmm.
इज नॉट योर जॉब।
Right. Right.
और वक्त रहते जब आपके पास पैसे आएंगे, आपकी ग्रूमिंग अपने आप हो जाएगी, है ना। वक्त के साथ अपने आप इंसान की ग्रूमिंग हो जाती है, वो सीख जाता है ना।
Of
तो
course.
उसकी आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, जस्ट enjoy the process, the journey, but work on your craft. That's really important. Your face should not shine, your talent should shine.
Right,
You look
Udit.
at Vikrant Messi,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
perfect
Exactly.
example. What a
Exactly.
brilliant
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a brilliant actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's shining everywhere now.
Abs-
पहले भी शाइन करता था, लेकिन उसको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली। पीपल नो न्यू अबाउट हिम।
Right.
पहले भी यूज टू शाइन इन एवरी रोल दैट ही यूज टू डू, राइट। बट उस तरीके का लीड या वैसे नहीं आता था। आज देखिए, आज ही इज डूइंग ऑल द प्रोजेक्ट्स, ग्रेट प्रोजेक्ट्स इन लीड, एंड ही इज मेड अ मार्क फॉर हिमसेल्फ। So you have examples left, right, and center everywhere that you look. It's
Yeah.
it's his resilience, right? It's his resilience. It's his hard work. It's his belief in his work and himself, right? तो आप डाउट की कोई गुंजाइश गुंजाइश नहीं रहती है ऐसी चीजों में।
Of course. And I think few years पहले अगर पहले की बात करें, there was a lot of focus on body image, and how an actor has to balance both every time, like the craft and also how he looks, right, how he or she looks. But I think, as you rightly said, that has changed, like that has changed in quite a lot of ways if we talk about the present context. And we have people coming from all backgrounds, they're doing well, and people are liking their part, right? People are liking them as an actor. It's not just about the looks, but like, do you think like there is a constant pressure to live up to that sort of body image? Like, do you think it's still there, like, and it will always be there when we talk about the world of cinema?
What is that movie that I saw? Um, did you see this movie that just come? Like it's on movie, but I've got it on online. Watched it online. It's The Substance.
Oh,
It's Have you seen that
no,
movie?
no, I haven't. I am yet to
Have
watch.
you heard about?
Yeah, 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 I have. I
I
have.
mean, I mean, an aging actress who's she has all these problems with her own self. Now she doesn't know what to do. She comes across this substance where she's able to younger make not make herself younger, a younger part. So younger part comes out of her own body.
Yeah.
It's the most grotesque movie that you can ever see. It's very gross, but it's very illuminating that our obsession
Hmm.
of being young, being good looking, I mean, it's transitory ultimately. It's just for a short span of time. And that's the natural process that you will age, you will go through that process, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this obsession of being the best that you look in, whatever, these are standards that, again, if you get in, ये दलदल है ताल मतलब आप धंसते चले जाओगे इसका कोई अंत नहीं है
Correct.
right so I think this is something that we as a society, some people care, some people don't care. I think people should not care about it.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
accept themselves as who they are. I think it comes from a deep sense of insecurity
Insecurity. Yeah.
and
Absolutely. Yeah.
lack of self-esteem, and it has to do with the childhood,
Mm.
how they were treated by others, how their parents viewed them. They started viewing themselves as like that, and
Yeah.
as
Of
adults, they look themselves as like that.
course. Of
But
course.
you have to break those patterns. You have to realize those patterns that you're looking yourself through someone's eyes, and that has come from your childhood. And maybe try to break that pattern. You know, I am beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody can say it otherwise. Even your parent might, your father or mother might have said, your grandmother might have said it. Like हमारे तो मजाक उड़ाते थे मुझे कांगड़ी पहलवान कहता था चाचा आई यूज्ड टू फील वेरी इनसिक्योर आई यूज्ड टू फील वेरी बैड आई वाज वेरी पतला
Yeah. Yeah.
तो मजाक उड़ाते थे और बुरा लगता था और वो इफेक्ट करता और मुझे लगता है हमारे हिंदुस्तान के समाज में वो है ही एक
वो है
बॉडी शेमिंग और वो करना चाहे
बिल्कुल
वो
है
लड़का हो चाहे लड़की हो मोटा
एग्जैक्टली
बोल देना ये बोल
करेक्ट
देना वो बोल
करेक्ट करेक्ट
देना है ना
एंड
तो
डू
वो बहुत आम उसमें
No, no, that is correct. Absolutely correct. Because, and I think एक ये reason भी है उदित that as audience, as normal people, as common people, right? Like if I talk about myself, okay, I've always been plump, this plump girl. कभी कोई लड्डू बोल देगा, कभी कोई कुछ बोल देगा, and
हाँ
it's always been like
हाँ
that. And I had started internalizing it. Okay, I look like this. That's why people call me this, and it's okay for them to do this, right? Because I started making fun of myself
या
also at some point कि अरे it's perfectly fine यार मजाक में ही तो बोल रहे हैं but it's not okay actually and the thing is
या
we take so much from the celebrities out there also एक दिमाग में एक वो रहता है कि अरे करीना कपूर जैसा दिखना है ऐश्वर्या राय की तरह दिखना है एंजेलिना जोली जैसा दिखना है क्यों दिखना है व्हाई डू यू थिंक देयर इज दिस thing between the
या
audience and
See,
the
but
yeah
I think a lot of actors I think a lot of actresses and actors lately have come out with this thing that this is not real. They've shown
yeah
their selfies in normal without makeup, and they're out there and they've said
yes
कि यार ये हमारे साथ होता है ऐसा नहीं है यार we don't wake up like this. So I think it's out there. People
yes
have told them that they're given designer clothes because they're going to an event or whatever. But in normal life, we're very normal people. So
yeah
people also have to start looking at them like that. The reason is they are not able to look. We look at ourselves like that. It's part of our job and
yeah
then we are in our pajamas at home. We don't care how we
oh,
look or
yeah
whatever.
correct
That's
correct
the reality of it. But
correct
people outside think that, oh, this and that and this and that. You have to be dissociate yourself from all of these things. That's really important, and
Mm.
not be influenced by the glamour quotient of it. So people have to be wise accordingly.
yeah I
That's
think
not always the case,
correct,
right?
correct. I think social media has a huge role to play in all of this. Social media has really created so many layers which did not maybe exist earlier, also, right? And there is this constant urge to look like this or that, or be in someone else's life story, or, just be a part of someone else's story. There is this constant pressure. I don't know, and as you said
Yeah,
rightly, that as an actor you are not always thinking about that paparazzi and the glamour, and you're just a normal human being eating dal chawal at home, and then
yeah,
prepping for your next role, you're reading
yeah,
script multiple times, acting that part that is hard work, right? It's not
Yeah,
just one day you
yeah,
wake up and today I'll do
yeah,
Dhiman and I'll just kill it. ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है, right?
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People should realize this as well कि यार ये illusion है, माया नगरी ऐसी नहीं बोलते हैं इसे.
Correct,
See, we
correct.
are creating something, right?
Yeah.
We
And
are ultimately creating a product for you to see.
of course, of course. And Udit, as an actor, what are your some of the biggest fears, I would say? What are the things that you feel कि ये नहीं होना चाहिए या I'm here to experience
That
every
I'll be irrelevant. People won't uh, recognize me. They won't
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
my work.
correct.
They will say that, oh my God, what a pathetic performance you have done. Yeah, these are the greatest fears I have. What a pathetic actor you are, sir. Reading your one day in a review that everyone has performed well except Udit Arora.
Oh, I'm pretty confident that
No,
this
normal
कि ऐसा कभी नहीं होने
normal fears. Like
देंगे.
every normal person, I have also normal fears.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And
is the drive. That is the drive that keeps us going.
yeah, of course, of
कि ये
course,
हो ना जाए बस.
of
इसीलिए
course.
मेहनत करते हैं और.
Right. Right. And Udit, as an actor, how would you say after becoming an actor? Like, of course, from your first day of auditioning and now where you are, अभी तक की जर्नी में, of course, you have seen the highs and lows, and now you are a recognized personality in the industry. People know you, people love you, but एक ये एस्पेक्ट भी होता है when you are doing well in your
Yeah,
career.
feel nice about it.
Yeah, you feel nice about it, but how has your personal life changed, or has it changed because of it? Like in terms of your friendships, in terms of your family and relatives, like how has that angle changed, or has it changed at all?
It has changed my relationship with myself because it affected me. Like the relationship changed with myself, not with my people around me.
Wow.
That has been the same. People tell me I'm the same. Of course, I've grown as a person, no doubt
Yeah,
about that. I've changed also. But
yeah.
to be honest, I think that when you go out and perform different parts, you don't are not thinking about yourself particularly. You're thinking about the character, right? Now, just be there, be here with me for a second. You realize what I'm trying to say. Like you're trying to understand what Binny Bhaiya is going through or wants, what Dhiman is going through or what he wants, or whatever my character here and there. And in that process, when that comes out, people, you are nobody. People don't know you and whatever. On set, also, people like he's a newcomer, right? But then people in that process, you become something. Like people recognize you, and you're like, oh my God, who am I? Like I'm also someone, you know, for your parts. But your intention was never to become someone, right? You are still catering to other people's needs in form of characters and stories, right? There is not you involved. Like there is involvement, but not as an ego. I'm saying, right? Like there is no Udit Arora involved as such. Like I'm not painted and said niche sign kar diya Udit Arora, right? So so there is no. But in that process, people start telling you, okay, now you become something. So that's where some ego comes in. कि ओ आई एम ऑल्सो समवन क्या अच्छा मैं भी कुछ बन गया क्या अच्छा मैंने कुछ कर दिया क्या दैट इज अ वेरी ट्रिकी सिचुएशन कि अच्छा बट किया तो कुछ नहीं यार मैं तो आपको ये रियलाइज करना होगा कि यार आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो आप अपने काम कर रहे हो बस और वो प्रोसेस में लोग आपको कुछ बना देंगे ये हकीकत है आप कुछ नहीं बनते आप वही रहोगे लोग आपको बना देंगे कल को मैं 100 करोड़ की पिक्चर दूं तो लोग मुझे स्टार बना देंगे मैं स्टार नहीं बन जाऊंगा मैं वही रहने वाला हूँ अगर आपको ये डिफरेंस समझ में आ गया आपने सोचा मैं स्टार बन गया तो आप गए आपको ये रियलाइज हुआ अब लोगों ने मुझे स्टार बना दिया कल को मैं बहुत अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दे देता हूँ लोग मुझे एक्टर बना देंगे कल को मैं कैरेक्टर्स बहुत सारे करने लूं, लोग मुझे कैरेक्टर एक्टर बना देंगे करेक्ट तो वो लोगों की इमेज है जो वो आपके ऊपर डाल रहे हैं आप क्या है इन सब चीजों में सो इन दैट स्पेस यू हैव टू रियलाइज यार तो मेरा भी वो कुछ साल तक रहा थोड़े टाइम तक ये हु एम आई
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
have to dissociate because when you're going out, you're meeting people or whatever. I realize, yeah, I can't do this. I have to be myself. Who am I? कि मैं कौन रहना चाहता हूँ पब्लिक में प्राइवेट में यहाँ पे वहां पे दैट्स द थिंग वो थोड़ा सा टसल रहता है उस टाइम पे स्पेशली स्टार्टिंग में बट देन इट्स लाइक यू रियलाइज ओके यार इट्स योर जॉब टेक यू अगेन एवरीवन सेज ना टेक योर जॉब सीरियसली डोंट टेक योरसेल्फ सीरियसली
Yeah.
तो
Right. Right.
हाँ और हो गया आपसे आप ये मत सोचिए आपने किया है आप ये सोचिए कि ऊपर वाले की मेहरबानी है जो आपके साथ हो रहा है सब और इतना सीरियसली मत लीजिए कि आपने कुछ किया है है
Yeah.
ना
Yeah. Yeah.
तो
In fact, I wanted to ask this, like how seriously you take yourself, like be it rejection or appreciation, कितने टाइम तक वो लगता है कि अरे यार बहुत अच्छा पार्ट प्ले किया, now everyone is loving it, I'm on cloud nine, कब तक रहता है? And then suddenly if some comment comes, some negativity is there, like एकदम ही नीचे चला जाता है. How is that? Like when you said ना कि लोग आपको कुछ बनाते हैं, आप खुद कुछ नहीं बन रहे हो, you are the same. And I have felt that with you, right? I always used to think अब तो ये स्टार बन गया, ये मैसेज का रिप्लाई नहीं करेगा, इंटरव्यू तो भूल ही जाओ. But I have never felt that, Udit, and I'm saying this as a friend, as a person who has known you for years, right? And it's very important that I say this because छोटा सा कुछ कोई करता है ना, there's this air in them that, oh, now I'm someone. I have never seen that with you, and I'm glad that I have not seen that, and I'm sure किसी और को भी ऐसा फील नहीं होता होगा. People who know you actually know you. So when you said ना इतना seriously मत लो अपने आप को, that is not just important in your line of industry or your line of career, right? It's there in everything. It's in whatever profession we might be in. If I become some big kick-ass content creator someday, I don't have to act like that, right? I can just be Garima and just be myself. So how do you take like both?
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
both sides of things like appreciation and criticism. How do you handle both?
आई थिंक आई एम टू क्रिटिकल फॉर माई ओन सेल्फ सो मुझे जैसे कोई बताएगा ना कि आपने ये मैं बोलूंगा यार मुझे पता है you know you don't have to tell me I know because I don't like first of all I don't like seeing myself I don't like my work because ultimately when you see yourself like अरे fuck यार ये और अच्छा कर देता you know इसमें ये हो जाता है यार ये गलत हो गया you are always thinking about how you could have made a performance better यार ये मैंने वहां गलत किया यार ये मुझे डायरेक्शन शायद नहीं मिला उस टाइम बट मैं अच्छा कर सकता था सो आई पर्सनली डोंट थिंक कि ऐसी कोई बात मुझे बता देगा जो मुझे पता नहीं है राइट ये मतलब अपनी परफॉर्मेंसेस को लेके आई हैव मोर आई नो मोर देन एनीवन कि मैंने क्या किया है क्या नहीं किया है राइट बेहतर करने के लिए कोई मुझे बताता है तो मैं जरूर सुनूंगा कि हाँ कहाँ मैं लैक कर रहा हूँ है
Yeah.
ना वो एक अलग चीज हो गई वो भी वो बताएगा जिसकी मैं इज्जत करता हूँ जिससे मुझे पता है कि जेन्युइनली बता रहा है बहुत ऐसे कम लोग हैं राइट ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मैं सबकी सुनते बैठूंगा कि हर
Of
कोई
course,
आके गहरा गहरा
of
नत्थु गहरा मुझे
course.
बता दे कि भाई आप ये ओ भाई तू अपना काम कर मुझे क्यों बता रहा है तो और जहां तक ये हाई की बात है ये बड़ा ही ट्रिकी सी चीज है मैंने अपने आप को इससे ऐसे दूर रखा है कि आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते ऑनेस्टली मुझे तो लगता है आई शुड रन अवे whenever someone comes and जब लगता है भागो 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 यहाँ से भाग जाओ I feel like during the time something releases, fuck off from Mumbai, just go somewhere else, be in nature. Because अरे it's like ठीक है यार okay it's okay यार it's good the show is working a performance appreciation that's great it feels very nice it feels very nice but ultimately you have to understand that you have to go to the next project you
Next.
have to go to your next work
Yeah. Yeah.
and those are the two see again as you're saying that those are the two clash in personalities there's something someone that you're doing and then there's something that you're represented on screen
Yeah.
those are two different people you know that is something that I'm not able to like I'm doing something I'm not imagining myself right? I'm looking at you my
Mm.
whole focus is on you right now correct I don't know how I look or what I don't care मेरे अंदर से आ रहा जो आ रहा right and ऐसे ही जब मैं perform करता हूँ but when you see yourself on screen that is something different it's like a split from the personality of you seeing yourself so I've never been able to see myself as you know oh wow no unless and until I'm looking smart. Like
Yeah.
in Dhiman, I was looking very handsome, so I like, yeah, that's nice.
Absolutely,
है ना?
absolutely. Yeah.
I've just we just started dubbing of royals yesterday, and I was seeing, I was like, yeah, I'm looking smart, huh? That's it.
Yeah.
That's the most I can like about myself on screen. कि I'm looking smart, बस बाकी मुझे कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगता.
Right, right. I think काफी interesting है ये. But there is another angle to it, which I think you'll be able to explain, maybe break it down for me. Like certain actors, and I won't
Yeah,
take names, certain actors, we are so used to seeing them in a certain kind of role. For example, some actors we are very used to seeing them in comic roles, right? And suddenly, when they do something very serious, we are not like, why are we so shaken? As an audience, we should be appreciating, okay, the guy is trying to come out of the usual, self. He's trying to break
yeah,
the
yeah,
mold.
yeah, yeah.
ये थोड़ा सा ऑडियंस पर्सपेक्टिव से समझ नहीं आता. लाइक आई एम जस्ट लाइक थ्रोइंग इट इन द एयर बिकॉज वी ऑलवेज से अरे इस पे कॉमिक ही अच्छा लगता है, इस पे सीरियस नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है. दैट शुडंट कम देयर एज एन ऑडियंस. आई शुडंट बी सेइंग दिस, बट I can only speak for myself, right? I cannot say this for every person watching films and say कि नहीं नहीं आप ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हो, ये इस कैरेक्टर में भी अच्छा कर रहा है. Now for an actor, how
मैंने
does that look like? Yeah.
मैंने असरानी असरानी जी का कोई इंटरव्यू पढ़ा था, कुछ तो पढ़ा था. और शायद मैं किसी चीज की तैयारी कर रहा था तब. आई थिंक पीरियड ड्रामा था शायद, बट वो प्रोजेक्ट हुआ नहीं कभी. सो आई थिंक उसमें मैं स्टोरीज और वो सब बहुत पढ़ रहा था. तो उनमें था कि ही जो उन्होंने आए वो जो शोले में जैसे उन्होंने किया है ना, आई आई रिमेम्बर दैट मिया. तो उनका वो वाला रोल था, तो वो फेमस हो गए बड़े उससे. या सॉरी, दैट वाज नॉट असरानी, दैट वाज जग. व्हाट वाज द नेम? जग. आई थिंक सम, आई एम फॉरगेटिंग द नेम.
गूगल
दैट्स
करना.
नॉट असरानी.
Yeah.
दैट्स तुम गूगल करो, मैं तब तक तुम्हें कहानी बताता हूँ.
हाँ.
तो उन्होंने बोला वो बहुत फेमस हो गया और वो उससे छूटना चाहते थे, कुछ और करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन पब्लिक उन्हें बहुत पसंद करती थी. तो
हम्म.
उन्होंने एक रोल किया कि हाँ, किसी से बात की तो उन्होंने बोला हाँ ठीक है, प्रोड्यूसर से बात की, डायरेक्टर से, हाँ मैं अलग तरीके से करूंगा.
हम्म.
तो वो सेट पे आए, कह रहे हैं आर यू श्योर, लोग आपको इसी से पसंद करते हैं. कह रहे हैं यार लेकिन मुझे ये तोड़ना है, लोग मुझे इसी से पसंद करते हैं, मैं जिंदगी भर यही थोड़ी करते रह जाऊंगा. वो
हाँ,
सेट पे आए और सेट पे आके उन्होंने वही सेम चीज करी, जैसे परफॉर्म किया जैसे उन्होंने शोले में किया था. तो वो फिर बाद में यार उनको इतना डर था कि ऑडियंस उन्हें एक्सेप्ट करेगी कि नहीं करेगी. तो आप दो ही चीजों में रह सकते हैं, या तो आप इस डर को निकाल दें कि ऑडियंस आपको एक्सेप्ट करेगी कि नहीं करेगी, और बेधड़ाका रोल करिए लाइक विक्रांत मैसी, राइट? सेक्टर 36 में ही इज प्लेइंग, यू नो व्हाट ही इज प्लेइंग,
yeah.
लाइक ही इज प्लेइंग अ सीरियल किलर. सो
एकदम से like 12th
दैट्स द
fail and then this character
करेक्ट.
like
करेक्ट, और लोगों की कॉन्शियसनेस में अभी तक 12th फेल है.
correct.
और तब सेक्टर 36 जैसी मूवी आती है, राइट? और इवन फॉर दैट मैटर आई थिंक, और रणवीर सिंह ऑल्सो, इफ ही इज प्लेइंग अलाउद्दीन खिलजी और व्हाटएवर आर स्टार्स
Yeah.
ऑल्सो, देयर आर पीपल लाइक दैट. तो
Yeah.
आप या तो ऑडियंस का प्यार पा लीजिए, या तो फिर अपना काम कर लीजिए, यही दो चीजें हो सकती हैं. सो ऑडियंस की जहां तक बात है, आई थिंक that is also very, sometimes it can work in your favor and sometimes it can't. they can like if you आपने मकाम हासिल किया है कुछ फिल्में करके, कुछ काम करके, and then they're liking you whatever, आपका काम चल रहा है, you're earning money. See, it's also about survival, यार. It's
Yeah.
not just the fame that people survive on, it's the money, it's the work
Yeah.
that comes with it. People have to realize that also. It's not like we're earning 20 crores in one movie, and if we don't, we're not sitting for the 10 years of our life, that's fine. It's not.
It's
So
not.
they also have to make their decisions based on running their house. So then audience can be also very brutal. They can just reject you like that. And where will you go then after all these hard working years? So it's a very tricky thing that I think it's not that objective, unfortunately. It's very uh, based, it's very individual at the end of the day.
नो नो एब्सोल्युटली. एंड एक और चीज ये है उदित, यू you are not someone who, like, I don't want to take that term, but I just want to say that you're not someone who has like strong connections from the industry, right? And you just went there, you tried your best, you made your mark, but ये जो काफी कॉन्वर्सेशंस बीच में चल रही थी that as an outsider it's very difficult for actors to find their space. What is your How has your experience been in that respect, for someone who is not coming from the industry?
मैं if I'm not from the industry, that doesn't make me unfortunate, and
Yeah,
if I'm from the industry, that doesn't make me fortunate.
yeah,
Ultimately, I think, and it's not anybody's fault, honestly, that
yeah,
they're born in the industry. I could have been born in the industry. You could have been born in the industry.
yeah,
You wouldn't want to be an actor. I
yeah,
could have been born in the industry to
yeah.
some family, and I would have wanted to be an actor. So I don't think people should just. They also have the right.
Mm.
They're getting a start. That's fine. Absolutely. What is wrong with you? I mean, will you give up? The thing is, when people say na ki, oh, you're getting that start and you're getting that opportunity, है
Mm.
ना? Yeah, if you would have been in that place, would you have given up that? Like, यार, बहुत लोग struggle कर रहे हैं और अपने
ये
मैं
फिर
अपना
छोड़
स्ट्रगल ना
देते
किसी
हो।
और को दे देता हूँ, है ना? मैं फिल्म नहीं करता, प्लीज मैं जाके कोई एक मेहनती एक्टर को दे दूं। ये बोलोगे आप? नहीं
ऐसा नहीं।
बोलोगे ना यार, तो फिर क्या बकवास कर रहे हो?
करेक्ट, करेक्ट,
आप भी करोगे ना यार, गाली खा के गाली बिना खाए
करेक्ट।
करोगे। तो ये मुझे सवाल कभी समझ नहीं आया यार। इट्स नॉट देयर फॉल्ट दैट दे आर बोर्न देयर ना, एंड इट्स नॉट योर, एंड व्हाई यू कर्सिंग योरसेल्फ?
हम्म।
आप अपने आप को भी तो कर्स कर रहे हो कि भाई हम नहीं है। अरे तो जहां से हो वहां अप्रिशिएट कर लो, अपने माँ बाप को भी अप्रिशिएट कर लो, जहां से आए हो, जिस मिट्टी के हो, जिस धरती के हो, वहां को अप्रिशिएट कर लो भाई। मैं आई एम वेरी प्राउड ऑफ आई एम दैट आई एम फ्रॉम कानपुर। आई एम
Yeah,
वेरी प्राउड दैट आई
yeah.
एम सन ऑफ प्रवीण अरोड़ा, शैली अरोड़ा। आई एम वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दैट यार। अब इसमें क्या, नो मैं इसकी औलाद होता, सेल्फिश हो आप, इसका मतलब आप में जरा सी भी वो नहीं है। मतलब आपका सपना इतना बड़ा है कि
Hmm.
आप पैदा होने के लिए तैयार हो किसी और। सो एंड सी, जोक्स असाइड, आई थिंक they have a good start. They get that boost, and they plus know about the industry. So they have a upper advantage over us, no doubt about that. But ultimately, yaar, these things don't last much,
Yeah, of course.
because ultimately you have to prove yourself. You'll get the opportunity, and it's for anyone. Even if from outside you're getting a very good part in some film or whatever, and even if you belong to the industry and getting something nice because of your connections, ultimately you have to prove yourself, right? If you're working to be a star, you have to bring audiences to the theaters. Audiences have to love you. And if you're trying to prove yourself as an actor, then you have to perform. So it doesn't, people don't see your tag na nepo kid or this no one nobody kid, right? So that's the thing.
No, you're absolutely right. I think I stopped judging these people, people who are coming from the industry. And I'll be very honest with you, I stopped judging them after watching some of the interviews by Karan Johar, right? And also when these shows come up, like Bollywood Wives and all of these shows come up, I watch these shows with a sense of curiosity कि ये क्यों इतना hype बना के रखा हुआ है कि these people are stars, they look certain way, they eat certain way, they behave certain way, but it's not like that. They have the same insecurities that any normal person outside the industry has, right? And if we talk about the budding actors like Ananya, I love her. I absolutely love her. I feel that at that
Yeah,
age, and the way she has groomed herself as an actor, the way she has evolved. Or take Alia Bhatt, for
yeah,
example. Take Alia.
yeah,
Now, these
yeah,
take Ranbir Kapoor for that matter. Like these people are coming from the industry, but they're not wearing that badge of or that crown. They have worked really hard to for us to love them for their craft. I think that is
yeah,
brilliant, and I as an audience I stopped judging these people like long time back when I absolutely
yeah,
started appreciating what they're doing and how difficult it is to make that kind of
yeah. आप
thing.
उन पे तो और प्रेशर है because everyone knows about them and they have to
course,
make a
yeah,
mark, and so
of course.
they know they are so and so so's kid. So you don't know the pressure that they are in also, right? दूर से बोलना बहुत आसान है.
बहुत
Who
आसान.
are you? You have
Correct,
no pressure. You come from nothing. No one knows you. Correct.
correct,
So you
correct,
don't have any pressure. You go on the set. You perform. Don't perform.
correct.
But uh, so they also have that added pressure, and that it's not. See, again, the thing is that we work really hard. They also work really hard.
Yeah,
So you must realize that nothing comes easy, right? It might be the start might be easy, but
yeah,
ultimately it's you who maintain that.
of course, of course. So yeah,
Yeah.
Udit, I think our conversation can go on and on. I am absolutely loving this, and I would want to have more of these, chats with you. But for now, I think let's leave on that note. What are the projects that you're very excited about, and what should the audience look forward to?
My two upcoming projects are Agni, which is releasing on 6th December on Amazon Prime. It's a film on firefighters. And then I have my show for Netflix with Bhumi Pednekar, Shan Khattar, and a lot of star cast. It has been announced for Netflix. And it's going to come next year. So these are the two upcoming projects. Tanab season 2, part 2 is yet to release. So I have no idea when that's gonna be. Maybe sooner than Royals, I feel. Yeah, so these are the projects that are coming up. I'm hopefully going to work in some good projects from next year, and when they're gonna start next year. And yeah, these are the things. Just
Looking forward to these, Udit, and I'm sure this the firefighting wala movie that you're talking about. I'm really looking forward to it. I think I have seen the trailer or teaser on your Instagram.
teaser.
Yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen that on Instagram. It really looks exciting and interesting. So definitely looking forward to it. All my best wishes with you always, and I
thank you so
have to
much. Thank
mention
you so
that.
much.
And just so you know that I've always believed in you, and I have manifested this conversation. I'm glad we had this conversation, and I look forward to many more such candid chats with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, yeah, and it's a pleasure that you were taking my interview. मतलब मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं था. I was not nervous at all for the first time because I knew that I'm talking to you. We have spoken for like years, at least a couple of years at least, sitting outside behind that chai wala in
Chai.
Santiniketan with and discussed so much till 9 in the night, sometimes 10,
Yeah.
and
And this doesn't feel
where
different
time
at
goes
all.
by.
This didn't feel different at all.
Yeah,
Bas ek
yeah.
difference hai कि now I have quit smoking. I am not sure about you, but
I've quit drinking. It's been
oh,
4 years.
great.
I've quit drinking. I'm not drinking anymore. And publicly, I don't want to talk about anything else. I am a very sober person. But drinking, I have quit. I don't drink anymore. It's been 4 years, and I plan to be sober.
Lovely, lovely. We will leave it at that. We will leave it at that. But
We should leave it at that.
yeah. But yeah, thank you once again, Udit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.